Before I get into this video, I just want to be clear. This video is not intended to make anyone feel like they are racist or to say I experienced racism. I'm just going to tell you my experience. I'm not going to put a word or a title to it. You tell me, do you feel like this is racism? I don't know. You tell me, you be the judge. You can give me your opinion, what you think. So I'm going to tell you about 3 different experiences of what it is like being black in Canada for me. And I'm going to use references of experiences I've personally had since I've been here in Canada. I am in British Columbia, if you don't know. I am in the province of British Columbia. And it is true when people say Canada is full of immigrants, because British Columbia, I think I've met a few persons since I've been here that is actually born and raised in Canada. I met maybe 1 or 2 persons that maybe moved from Ontario or moved from Alberta, but they were born and raised here. I think since being here, I've met also 1 or 2, and I keep on saying 1 or 2 because it is few indigenous people who are actually Indians who their family line would have born and raised in Canada. Okay, let's get that out of the way. So doesn't matter, walking along the streets in British Columbia, you'll see people of all different colors. You'll see white, brown, black, all different colors. But it is very important that you note that even though some person might appear white to you, they are immigrants too. A lot of persons here in British Columbia maybe migrated from Europe and came here. A lot of persons came from Poland. They came from many different parts of the world. Yes, they look white, but they are not from here. They are immigrants just like me and you. The difference with me is that my skin tells it that, hey, I am not from here. But there are black persons here who are born and raised here, who are Canadians that are from here. But when people naturally see me, a black person, they automatically assume, oh, they're an immigrant, which is kind of cocky of them to assume that because they are black Canadians here. My first experience that I want to talk about, I'm going to tell you 3 things that happened to me. The first experience, if you want to call this a story time, so be it. So the first experience I had, right, was I started noticing it that every time I take the bus, especially in Surrey and Coquitlam, those 2 areas are in the lower mainland, but they are not in downtown Vancouver, right? The downtown area is where you have everyone, so many different people, right? But then I notice every time I take the bus or the train and I am in Surrey or Coquitlam, nobody sits beside you. The bus, you will be sitting there, I'm telling you, you'll be sitting there, and at first I thought, okay, I thought nothing of it, but I started noticing it so much. You'll be sitting there and then you have a seat behind you, maybe 2 seats behind you, and the person will literally walk past you and go sit beside someone else. Maybe not even their same race, but the fact that I'm black, they're not sitting beside me. They'll sit beside you when the bus is completely full and they have no other option, then they sit. And then they sit so timid, like they're so afraid like you're going to do them something, and I'm like, I don't bite, right? But I remember this scenario and I proved it so many times. I'm telling you, you see, when you're in Vancouver, people are going to sit beside you, they don't care, right? But when you're in Surrey and Coquitlam, they be like, not sitting beside her, right? I tell you, I was on the train, right? And I remember sitting right there in my seat, and then there was this lady standing in front of me, and there was somebody else sitting in another seat, but then another person was sitting next to that person. So my seat was the only empty seat, and I'm telling you, they stand there looking at me. I was literally traveling through Coquitlam, from Surrey to Coquitlam. And I tell you, the lady stood there, stand up, looking at me like I'm going to jump her or something. And then I'm like, there's an empty seat right beside me. If you want to sit, you can sit. Other persons came in and they did not sit beside me. You know what I noticed? That lady stood there, she stand there, and when the person beside the other person, and I don't want to say the white person because they are, most of the time these people are not white, right? They are not white, they just have a brown complexion that's lighter than me, right? The person got up from beside that person, right? And you know, that lady that was standing gladly, quickly, with her bags and her load, gladly, quickly went and sit beside that lady. Meanwhile, I was sitting here still with this empty seat. And I'm like, oh, you wanted to sit so badly. And instead of you just sit beside me, you would stand and hold all the bags you're carrying until someone moved from the person who has a lighter complexion. How that makes sense? So that's one experience. Over time, you'll notice these behaviors. That's just one experience I'm telling you of something that happened to me on the bus. I've seen it on the bus. I can tell you, anytime I take the train in Surrey, by the time I am near closer to Vancouver, that's when other persons will come on and they will sit. Sometimes I feel like, okay, I might as well just put my bag on the seat because, hey, they're gonna sit beside me, and if someone really wants to sit, they'll tell you, hey, take up your bag, right? So you'll notice that that's my experience being black. That's one. Another experience is that you're going to notice being black in Canada, your community, especially in provinces that's outside of Ontario, your community is small. You don't see a lot of black persons. You are the minority here. You know you're black. You know, when I was in Jamaica, I never knew I was black. Being black was not something that, oh, I am conscious of. But being in Canada, I am conscious every day that I am black. And there's nothing wrong with being black. I love my black skin. I love my melanin skin, right? But you are more conscious of it. You're conscious that you are different than persons around you. So you'll realize soon and very soon that your community, you are the minority, you are less, right? When you see another black person, a lot of times black people, they stare at you back and you're staring at them and you're like wondering, why is she looking at me? But all the time I believe they are just being like, oh, I wonder if that girl is from Nigeria. Oh, I wonder if that girl is from my country. I'm wondering where that black person is from. I think that's why we stare, because when I look at another black person, I always wonder, where are they from? You know, because we know that black people are from a lot of different countries, and as a result, black people, when we see each other, we sometimes just because of seeing another black person, I'm like, hey girl, I see you. Or if I see a man, I'm like, respect. I've been in Home Depot, so many different places, and just seeing another black person, they just give you a shout out like, hey. So you realize that you'll be aware, you'll be always cognizant of your skin color. You will know you are black. You will know. But the thing is, you see, even though it's a country with so many immigrants, every different person has their own community. The Latinos have their community, the Africans have their community, the Jamaicans, the Caribbean people, they have their community. This country is so segregated. I am telling you, everyone has their own community. So you will know you're black. You'll try to find your community just to feel that sense of belonging, just to feel like you want to fit in. And you will, after a while, you will find your community. However, one of the things, like anytime I start a conversation, just to know that you're black, the first thing people assume about me is, hey, are you from Africa? And while I don't take offense to it, because hey, originally I was from Africa before we were shipped to Jamaica to be slaves, right? My ancestors. So no offense is taken, but my thing is, you persons who are here, if you're watching this and you're maybe Caucasian, Latino or something, when you see a black person, don't assume they are from Africa. Don't assume that because he or she is black, then okay, they like this or they like that. At the end of the day, we are humans. We are humans. We are different, right? So that's one of the things people always assume that, and I always have to correct them, like, no. Even my fellow brothers and sisters from Africa, when they see me on campus or they see me, I hear this all the time, like they assumed I was from North America or maybe the US or Canada because of how I carry myself. I do not carry myself like a Nigerian, like an African. So when they see me, they automatically can tell that I don't belong in the African community, which I'm like, you can hear my accent that is different to you, right? But you can also see how I carry myself, and I don't carry myself like an African, right? So I don't belong in your community, but hey, I'll adopt you, you can come on, but we could tell you weren't an African. And then to the other students who are other immigrants from other countries, look at me and see me and just say, oh, she's black, she belongs in the African community. But at the same time, the African community refusing me because they're saying, hey, you don't look like an African, you don't look. So you're going to know you are black. You are going to know, especially if you're not from the African community, you're going to know that, okay, you're different. There are so many different African communities though, because then you have Ghana, you have Nigeria, you have people from Southern Africa. There are so many different black people here, and like I said, everybody trying to find a community, and then you're here wondering, okay, the Africans refuse me, the Ghanaians always welcome me though, and the Kenyans might, yeah, I mean, I have African friends who tell me that maybe your race is not from Nigeria. You look like you were probably a mix of Kenyan. I'm like, I need to know my history, but honey, shh. With the community thing, you're going to know. I mean, I hear so many different things defining my blackness, or where I belong and where I don't belong in terms of community, but that's that. The last other thing with my experience here being a black person in Canada, and especially being a black person in Canada that's not from Africa, that's not from Nigeria, another experience I've had is with employers. So employers, when they hire you as a black person, they act like, oh, you're a strong black woman, so because you're a strong black woman, we should work your ass. Yeah, I've been in the work environment before where, being a black person, they tend to give you more work. I notice it. Yeah, they tend to give you more work. So they will literally, and that's the thing, how do I say this nicely? Because as a female in engineering, with my background as a female in engineering, I know what it is like being treated as a female. So males tend to give you less work because you're a female, and they think females shouldn't be doing too much. They want to protect you, I guess, or they want to, they don't want to overload you. They want to treat you like a delicate flower, because let's be honest, that's what society teaches males to do. And then when they do not treat us like a delicate flower, also the same society be like, oh, equality. So yeah, being a black person in the workplace, I wouldn't say they saw me as a black person, but they saw me as a woman. And being a woman, then when it comes to certain work, they try not to give me certain work. They give me the lighter things to do because I'm a woman. But I remember I went to this job, story time right here, when I don't know what it was that I experienced. Like I said, I'm not putting any title to it. You tell me in the comment section what you think, or what are some of the experiences you've had in Canada as a black person that made you realize that I know I am black. Right? I remember going to this place, working, right? And I remember the first day when I went, I don't know if it's because the title, being a strong black woman, I remember my title was, let's say, it was line cook. You see, on the day, I was no longer, remember it was training day, showing me the ropes. You see, on that training day, I did line cook, I did serving to employees. I never knew my role had to do anything with serving employees, right? I did serving to and it doesn't, because the other person there weren't doing that. And it's my first day still, but nah, it was an unfair treatment. I become SOG. If you don't know what SOG is, send out girl. I become send out girl to go to the fridge, to go everywhere, to get this, to get that, right? And then in the night, I became cleaning staff to help to clean down the place. You know, I was like, y'all crazy, right? Because this treatment, and then I got some stares, some look like, no, you're not doing that right, or yeah, idiot. Are you an idiot? You know, when person giving you those look like if you make a mistake, man, you mean my first day. Guys, this girl, I didn't even go back the next day. I just say I quit, because I know I'm black. I know in America people are outright racist and they tell you that, oh, I don't like you. But here people tend to have this little thing, like they smile with you like, oh yeah, oh, you're so nice. And they are so fake. And you can see it in their actions, how they treat you, how they stare at you when they think you're not looking, that okay, this person is a bit, you put the word, this person is a bit, right? And after experiencing that in the workplace, I was like, no. And then it's funny because when I look around me, I was the only black person there, and I was like, no wonder why. Yeah, now I see why black people don't come here. Yeah. And I quit. I was like, I know I want better for myself, but I ain't going to tolerate certain things because I have standards and values, and they ain't down here, honey. No, I quit. I'm sorry. I don't need your money that much. Bye. So those are some of the things that I have experienced as a black person in Canada. As a black person in Canada, some people here in BC don't want to sit beside you on the buses. Yeah, some people be like, oh, you don't belong to the African community because you're not from Africa, but you're from the Caribbean. While the same other immigrants over there are looking at you like you're just black. It doesn't matter if you're black, right? And at the end of the day, they feel like because you're a black woman, you're a strong black woman, then they should work you harder than they work other persons of lighter complexion. Yeah, that's my experience. This part is the bonus. I said 3 things, but you know I always have to add in a bonus. This part is the bonus. So guys, I meet a guy, right? And he's from a country A. I'm not going to say the country's name, but he is dark like me, probably a little bit darker than me, right? And I said, hey, what's up, where are you from? And he said he's from country A, and I asked him, that country is known for mostly lighter complexion persons. I said, what it is like being a black person in country A? The guy looked at me like, girl, you're crazy. Me not black. This was me. I'm like, excuse me, what do you mean you're not black? And he said, I'm not black, I am dark brown. That's an insult. I said to him, I am sorry. I assumed you are black because I am black, and as you can see, your complexion is a bit darker than me, and I consider everyone with my complexion, or even if you have a light complexion, like, because from my knowledge in America, even persons who have a white father and a black mother, they are considered black, even if their complexion is high. So I naturally assumed you were black, but I'm sorry, you're brown. I am sorry, you're brown complexion. I honestly, I never tell him, but I walked away saying, wow. I'm too woke, because I'm just there like, is there something wrong with being black? I am black. Why did he find it an insult for me to say he's black when he is obviously black? To the white man, they look at him, he's black, right? So I'm like, why is it an insult to be black? You're in Canada, honey. No one cares really. If you consider yourself to say you're not black, automatically you are, it's like you are saying you have a problem with being black too, but then you are black. I was like, wow. Yeah, he was like, he's not black. And I was like, wow. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. So, like I said, being a black person in Canada, you will realize you are black. You will see it. Be careful how you address people. Sometimes, especially if you're coming from the Caribbean or another country somewhere else, and you are black, people will say you don't fit into the African because you ain't from, you know. Similarly, to be a Jamaican, you have to live being in Jamaica. You gotta live the Jamaican life. I understand that, and they're right. I'm not from Africa. That's just the truth. Yeah, maybe my ancestors were, but I haven't lived the Niger experience to say, hey, I'm African. You know what I mean? I understand. No offense. I understand. I understand. But you gotta find your community, and it's important, especially since black people are minorities, that you find your community here in Canada. A lot of people don't talk about this. A lot of people do not talk about the things that they experience as a black person in Canada. I've seen outright racism. That is racism. I've seen it here in Canada, and then they say, oh, Canada is not racist. Maybe Canada is not racist, but you do have people who come to Canada with their racist mentality and don't realize that it's illegal to be racist here. Right? It is. This is not America where freedom of speech and you don't get in trouble. This is Canada. You will be penalized for talking. Right? So maybe that's why a lot of them don't say things, you know, they give you the look or whatever. But at the end of the day, when I tell you Canada is full of immigrants, it is full of immigrants. So when sometimes, and then after being here, I've heard a lot of persons who are born and raised in Canada and are black say things like they have developed a thick skin, to like some things they don't even see it, like it doesn't faze them. So after being here for some time, I'm developing that thick skin where it doesn't faze me. If you don't want to sit beside me on the bus, that's your loss. I'm gonna put my bag right there and I'm gonna be comfortable, more space for me. I don't really care. And then I just laugh at the fact that, ooh, you gotta be standing while I have 2 seats here. So you will develop an appreciation for your own fellow black people. Even for me being here, it is more important for me when I'm supporting small businesses. If I'm supporting a small business and they don't promote or encourage diversity, I am not interested. If I'm going to work at a company and they don't promote diversity, I am not interested. And I'm not talking no fake diversity, like just hiring quotas just because to reach that diversity. No, I'm talking authentic, real diversity. And there are ways that you can find out. I try not to support persons who are racist. Yes. So where I buy my coffee matters to me, right? Where I even buy my books, where I go to shop, it matters to me, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to put money in black business owners' pockets and in persons who are genuinely nice humans to everyone, not just, oh, we accept this race but we don't accept this race. That's a no. Let me know what you think about my situation, my experience. A lot of people here on YouTube don't talk about things like this, but like I tell you, my channel, I'm going to tell it to you. I'm going to tell you what it is like, things that you maybe don't know, but it's important for you to be aware. The reason for doing this video is so that I can tell you this particular message here. When you come here, be prepared for anything. It is 2022, and yes, there are laws and we have come a far way from back in the past, but be prepared that the color of your skin, it matters. It does. Even for me, when I'm supporting a team now for World Cup, I am like, sometimes in the back of my head, I am like, what is the person that I've met from this country, how have they treated me being a black person? Yes, because chances are I can't be supporting your team and I know that you is the same one from that country who would never even sit beside me or give me a second look. So being in Canada, it changed my entire mindset, how I do business, who I support, because coming to Canada, a first world country, I realized I am black. Yes, I won't lie, I've traveled so many times to the US and I've never felt, that's the thing, you know, because people say, oh, US people in America are racist, right? But all the time I've been in America, I've never felt or experienced what I experienced here. You know what I mean? And I worked in America also. I have worked in America. So I've never experienced that. I don't know. Maybe they became so good at hiding it. I don't know. But there are some things here in Canada we need to get right. We need to get right. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I pray that if you're coming here and you don't want to experience any of these things or worse, stick to Toronto or Ontario. Enough black people there so you'll fit right in. But if you want to explore and see other places, you gotta be willing to experience some things. But nothing wrong, we'll make it through. All the best to you on your journey. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do not forget to like and share this video so that someone who is coming to Canada who is black can see this video, or someone who is not black but you are coming here as an immigrant. Please don't make these same mistakes that other persons are making. You know, it's okay to sit beside us. We don't bite. I tell you, we don't bite. We are not scary. We are just nice, loving humans at the end of the day. So all the best to you on your journey, and don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe. Bye.